Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotional, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. Take what you can from this morning's podcast and transform your day by being spiritually and positively motivated. I wish I had a nickel for every time I or someone I could hear said, "I sure hope so." Sadly, when someone says this, it doesn't seem to me that we really have hope. It's more like a wish. A statement put out to the cosmos like a Hail Mary football pass at the final buzzer of a game. It's a big, huge what if that may or may not yield a result. One person asks if something is going to happen, and another says, "I sure hope so," meaning maybe, could be, would be nice, not sure, but I'll sure take it if it does, or only if we're lucky. We've gotten away from the real meaning of what it means to have hope. I don't think it's just my take on it or my opinion either, because what I've seen and heard for years tells me that our culture has come to view hope as the same thing as a wish, a fantasy, a longing that doesn't include intent or expectation. So right here, right now, I'm beginning a campaign to change that and help us restore hope in the word hope, because it absolutely should be an expectation of what we want or visualize, to which we apply intent and energy. The key pieces of that are intent with expectation. So I've come up with an acronym, since I think a good acronym can help us remember things a little better. Here it is. HOPE, H-O-P-E, can stand for Healthy Optimism Produces Exceptional Success. You like that? I do. Now, there is one word in there that might also trip us up, so let's deal with it real quick, and that's the word optimism. It's another misunderstood and misused word today because people commonly think of an optimist as being a person who doesn't dwell in reality and sees only a glass half full all the time. Optimism, however, is all about expectation, and expectation along with intent is what really makes things happen. Being an optimist will help you see possibilities, whereas being a pessimist will only open your eyes to the worst of everything. Now, who wants to only see that? I think that people by and large have lost hope because they've seen their hopes dashed to bits time and time again. A researcher named Martin Seligman did studies with dogs in a maze where they let them run the maze for treats. Then they blocked off the maze and set things up to where the dogs could not get to treats and they couldn't run the maze. So they just laid down at the barrier and gave up trying. After some time, researchers removed the barrier and put the treats back, but the dogs stayed put and still didn't try. Seligman used this research to coin the term learned pessimism. The same thing happens to humans. In our youth, we are full of possibilities and visions of the great things we can become, and then life experience, after life experience, happens and beats us up and dashes hopes to smithereens, and we become like the dogs running up against a barrier. We can easily just lay down, give up hope, and not even try. Experience seems to teach us that hoping is futile, and we might as well just give it up. If we choose to look at all the ruined hopes, we begin to develop negative expectations. If we choose to look at all the ruined hopes, we begin to develop negative expectations like, "It doesn't matter what I want, why try? It will just end up like this. Good things don't happen to me." Well, here is a newsflash for you. Failure is induced by negative expectations. The only time we actually fail is when we have finally given up. If your only expectations are negative expectations, then there isn't much to stop you from giving up. Most tragically, that is often when a person no longer sees events or attempts as failures, but they see themselves as failures. Buying into that is surely a point of all being lost. If your entire life, all your waking moments are filled with negative expectations, life will feel like hell, and failure will be the only description. A couple weeks ago, I quoted Zig Ziglar saying, "A big shot is no more than a little shot who keeps on shooting." Now, there really is no point in continuing to shoot if you are only going to shoot with negative expectations. What would be the point of that? Can you imagine a pro basketball team with every player taking every shot with the expectation that they would miss? It's impossible to have championship expectations if you expect every single shot in every game to miss. In our personal lives and in our businesses we run and grow and in our artistic endeavors, in our relationships, if you keep shooting with one negative expectation after another, you will consistently miss. That's not the life you were born to live, and it isn't the life I would hope for you either. So let's go back to our acronym. Healthy optimism produces exceptional success. Hopes. Your optimism is healthy if you are optimistic about your future, and you are optimistic about your dreams of what you will become and do, and you are optimistic about the goals you set to make those dreams a reality. Optimism carries with it positive expectation. I explained this a number of years ago, over 20 years ago, in fact, when I went to a restaurant with some people for coffee and pie one evening. We were talking about positive expectancy and had been waiting for almost 10 minutes for a server to notice us. All of our coffee cups were upside down on saucers, and a metal thing in the middle of the table had creamer and sugar in it, so I turned my cup over and put in my preferred amount of sugar and cream. In less than a minute, a server walked by with a coffee pot, noticed my cup, and poured coffee into it, and then asked the other people if they would also like some coffee, and they suddenly nodded their heads, and one asked if we could see a menu. Everything was fine from that point on, and it all started with the perfect example of positive expectancy. You set the stage for things to happen, expecting that they will happen, and then get ready for the result that you hoped for. See, that's what hope is all about. Positive expectancy is optimism, and healthy optimism most assuredly does produce exceptional success. I am not suggesting that everyone listening to this who has, to this point, always believed negative expectations should jump for expecting to become a billionaire right away. That isn't the point. Start off with healthy optimism about today being a great day. Build some healthy optimism for things you will get done by the end of the day, not neglecting that during the day you navigate your now. Build healthy optimism around a relationship you want and expect positive results and apply positive intent in making it happen. The more you build healthy optimism for good things in your life, the more you experience exceptional success and the stronger your hope will be for bigger and better things, and eventually you might just be a billionaire if that is your dream. Go for it. Have hope, real hope, the kind of hope that knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that all of creation is conspiring in your favor. Trust that the universe truly does have your back. Dr. Edwin Lewis Cole once said, "Expectancy is the atmosphere for miracles." Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold-Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Motivational Devotional is in production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.